Never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
The needs of working families and the middle class, not just the billionaire class. We know what's going on. We are paying attention.
Good morning, everybody. It may be the end of the corporate age. Heck, it may be the end of the earth with everything that's going on now, but that's all right. That's all right, because we might have a boat. We might have a really, really awesome opportunity in Washington to have a progressive pirate ship. I mean, it's not really a pirate ship, but damn well looks like a pirate ship. Oh, everybody. What is this running? Some video I got going. That's me. Anyway.
Or is it Slacker?
Yeah. No, that was what that was. So this is the Nina Okatai, which is the name I'm going to butcher. I have no idea if that's how to pronounce it. But good morning. Good morning. Hey, Density, everybody. We got Joe here. We got Markus here. We got Laura here. But we got this boat first. This is the cover. and the reason I'm excited about that, okay, the reason I'm excited is because I used to be a boat owner. And those of you who see here, I gotta get all the shots right. Hang on a second here. Too much going on. There we go. I used to own a 35-foot Chris Craft, 1962. It was really beautiful and really fun, except it was made of wood mostly, and it guzzled gas like insanity, and I just couldn't afford it. Those of you who have ever owned a boat, you know it just takes money, and you just pour money into it, right? Or a crew that can constantly maintain it, right? So that's what we have here is an opportunity for a mobile office, all right? This is a GoFundMe. The link is in the description of the video here, and Laura Livengood, this is not the actual page because that's a screenshot, but Laura Livengood just donated $100. I want everybody to drop what they can. When I get paid by Larry the Man, I'm going to drop some money on this, because if we can get about $2,000 on this, we can actually put it in motion. We can do the things we need to do with it to get it going. The $5,000 goal helps us complete everything that needs to be completed and sustain it for a little bit. But right now, $2,000 on this will get us what we need to do the important things, which is a survey, insurance, and put it in a slip. And then I will build a media network on it. And we will find people to crew it, because it's got 3 staterooms. All right. And then we can use this for our candidates. We can use this for phone banking. We can invite people on board. It's got a lot of room. It's big. All right, I'll show you some pictures. It's big. But I just go to the link. I just wanted to kind of hijack the morning. Just go to the link. Look at this. Understand the opportunity. We're going to put a media network on this. We're going to put a headquarters for progressive movement on this. It can go around and do protests. Candidates can live stream from the stage. So I want everybody that's watching, go donate whatever, $1, $2. If you're going to give UHM money this month, don't give it to this. All right? Don't tell Larry I said that. All right. Oh, well. Any of my bosses. Here, now I got to pull up the right picture. So
yeah.
we got.
The rest of the bosses are here.
Yes, the rest of the bosses are here, and Joe. I gotta get Joe on this shot over here.
And apologies to Joseph. I invited him to come in like 3 minutes before we even start. It's like, yeah, if you want to come in, but you better hurry.
There we go.
Especially since he was moderating for Ryan on Wednesday. I thought it'd be nice to have you in.
That was fun.
And everybody liked you last week when I was, taking my risk here. So.
He passed the test. He did a good job.
Yeah.
You did. Yes.
Oh, look at our nice foursome. Actually, that's very Hollywood Squares.
I know. You gotta look the right direction. Hey, Markus. Right?
Hey, John. Is it right? I don't.
It's hard to do.
Complete,
hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus. I gotta look the wrong way.
guys.
Yeah. We're all having fun here. Isn't this a great show? Quality entertainment. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're geeking out on our foursome here. So
The other cool thing, I just want to mention this right now, that YouTube now logs the chat with the live stream. So those of you that come back later to watch this, whenever you do, the links will be there in sync with what we're talking about. That's
yeah, I
pretty
just
badass.
dropped the GoFundMe link, and if you guys with wrenches can double check, make sure it works. Sometimes links freak out, but if you can share that a few times during today, that'd be great.
Yes.
Well, mostly in sync because it's still like pretty glitchy. So sometimes it's like a bit late or it's lagging or it's a bit.
I was the first time I ever saw that was your little 420 update, and it synced perfectly. Like what the comment you were mentioning was like the one that was right at the bottom, just like it would be if you were watching it. So
wow, that's convenient. I have seen it be like the 30-second delay, but you know, as long as it's somewhere in there, as long as
I guess it depends on how many people are in there too. If you've got a nice slow-moving chat, it will.
Right. So for us, it's our nice little
sheer
group.
popularity, you know, just keeps it.
Does it come with rum? Let's just answer some questions here from.
The rum's gone.
No, but you know, let me show you. Let me show you some pictures. So this is. This is like the, I don't know what this is called this is like the back area, the lounge area.
The rumpus room looks like.
Right. This is where we could put people phone banking or on computers doing stuff. We could interview people here. It's got a lot of potential. Hang on here. This is looking from those back seats forward. So it's kind of like an area, and there's a stove there or a furnace.
It looks like the galley there.
Well, no, the galley's a separate thing. That's not a galley.
Oh, okay.
That's not the galley. That's like an eating area. This is looking down the vessel. It's 78 foot. It's absolutely beautiful wood. And that other picture that says shop on it, it says hop, but it says shop really. My guess is that's a great place to put media gear. It's actually pretty big. There are 3 staterooms on this. There's looking down the deck. All right. And the wheelhouse is that in the back there.
Oh my gosh. So guys, I was mentioning this before. If you haven't seen the movie Pirate Radio with Philip Seymour Hoffman, it is about a ship in the North Sea off the coast of England, set up like this with a bunch of DJs, and all they did was broadcast rock and roll music back in the 70s. So and it's just like this. It's a ship, and they just dock, and it totally reminds me of it. So.
Yes, and Brom, exactly. We do need hands. So you said you were in the Navy. Are you in Washington? Because that's the goal.
Brom's in California, but
if you want to come up there, we're looking for 3 students, 3 people who want to be on an adventure to live aboard, right? And they would maintain the vessel under the and pay a minimal rent because you're paying slip fees and then utilities and stuff. But we would. You know, the agreement would be you're doing this to keep it in shape. You live on board, but then we're going to use the boat when we need to, right? We're going to do live streams on it. Does it
just need to be Washington, or could it sail up and down the Western Wall?
Once there's a seasoned crew, it can definitely go somewhere. Now, Tyler Vega is getting his captain's license, if he doesn't have it already, to be able to do that. All right.
Captain Tyler Vega.
It's some serious shit.
That's a perfect name.
It's some serious shit to be able to sail. It's especially to be able to even to sail on bigger rivers and oceans is especially with that boat. I mean, we're not talking turn on the engine and cruise. We're talking.
Johnny Depp could play him in the movie.
Yeah.
He could play himself in the movie. Actually,
that's true.
Here's the wheelhouse there.
Because if this was down the coast of Oregon and California, think of it.
Oz, you make a good anchor. Dead weight is usually not appreciated. If that's how you want to serve, man. But I think you're much better off just helping the show.
With my donation, this ship has gotten 2 donations, and one of them is from Tyler's dad. So join us,
awesome.
Because that's pitiful.
It is. Tyler's dad was cool. He donated the first $500, which is so nice.
And that meant a lot to Tyler, because it meant that he believed in what Tyler was doing, and that's important for sons and their dads.
Yeah.
So, so that's great. So join Tyler's dad and me as GoFundMe donations, and
Look. See, there's the windows in the back. That's what makes this so piratey. It's got one of those back window areas, right? Look. Listen. This is really just for me. It's just because I want to be able to go up there and get on this boat. Really
John has a dream. John has a dream. Yes. And the dream is, we can make this dream come true, you guys. So
we could do a lot of stuff with this. It would be really good for the revolution, and we could help a lot of candidates, a lot of them at the same time. That's what I'm thinking about, is that we could put on rallies, move this thing over to an LNG port, broadcast with the solo. And, you know, it's got the room. You can have 3-4 candidates get up there, do speeches, special guests, right? It's one of those things that is unique. And so in the realm of promotion for, you know, running for office, this does things. That's when you got to look at it that way, right? If Canada had a choice between, you know, going to a park or being put on a boat outside a park, he's going to be on the boat outside the park because that's cool. All right. Or they're dumb.
So Brom knows all of his knots. He was in the Navy. And he's also in IT, and he would move. Okay, Brom.
All right.
First mate, Brom.
Well, you're in Slack. Let's get you connected with Pragwa. I mean, seriously, man. If that's what you want to do, let's do it. All right.
And if you need still someone who is beating the drums, you know, then you can enlist me.
All right. Well, yeah, all right, that works. You know, there's a lot of other opportunities with this, because we could get hemp sales made. We could have the sale sponsored by different groups, put their names on it. Think about that, Brom. CFAR, one sale, and it's got a lot of sales. Right? Oh,
we need an uphill flag to fly on the mast.
Yes, an uphill with the crossbones. We need the skull and cross. Somehow, I don't know if Ash is watching this morning. By the way, hey Darren. How you doing? Where's the other guy? Where's the other guy? Oh, no, we don't have the guy yelling at me in this morning. Never mind.
What?
I get my people mixed up. Yeah. Anyway, this. All right, next. I have a list of things today. So James, you know, if you all know, James is his son who's living with us here, and he's leaving in a week or so to go back to Colorado. And then in like a week after that, my dad is showing up. I'm only telling you that because it's my dad. So I'll be doing a lot more cleaning and other things around here for when my dad arrives. So you'll probably see less of me on Twitter harassing people and doing the things I do on Twitter. That's all. It's just a public service announcement, really. But you know. And my dad will be here, so maybe we'll bring him on. He'll stand next to me and we'll talk stuff. Maybe we'll do a video. That'd be fun. Another link that I have, real quick, go pay homage to the current active crew of UHM. I think at this point, Markus and everybody else have corrected all of my spelling errors. There were so many. You go to uphillmedia.org and then hover on About and click Production Crew, and you can see the current active crew. If you're a member of the current active crew and you don't see your name here, that means that I don't have you on one of my lists. And we need to get you on that list. So mention something to me in Slack. And if you're a current active crew and not in Slack, then we're really disconnected, and we need to remedy that.
Are you looking for them to fill out that form so that they are an official crew? That's what you're going off of, right?
Yeah, I'm going off my activist form in the Action Network. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a link for that?
No, of course I didn't have that handy, because that would be preparing too much. Preparing way too much ahead of time.
Joseph, can you find that? Do you know where that is?
To the sign thing?
What did you say? I'm not sure flying the Jolly Roger would be a good idea. No, John Warren? Why? Well, we need to make up a new one for the progressive movement. That's progressive pirate or something. I don't know what that is.
Progressive pirate.
Yes.
I like that, actually.
Thank you. So I'm looking over here. I got my comments over here. It should be over here. What else did I have in this? Oh, okay. Now we're getting to serious stuff. I touched on this yesterday. This is going to happen. Get to know the DPO. It's a series to meet members of the Democratic Party of Oregon and find out what the Democratic Party of Oregon does, and begin a conversation between its members and the general public and the DPO. And this is awesome. Why are we able to do this? Oh, look at that blank. All right.
Walk the plank.
Yes. See, this is all piratey. Oh my gosh, that's great. And we can have. That's what we need. We need a plank. That's like the plank you walk, except what it is,
And
it's got the
cannons.
words.
We need, Bram says we need cannons as well.
What are they going to shoot though? They could shoot like shirts that say elect such and such.
Oh my god.
That would be perfect. Shirt cannons. Elect Sarah Smith. Elect Dorothy Gasquet. That's what we need. That's what we need.
Shoot cannons. I love it.
Oh
That's
my God.
perfect.
So now we're going to have to up that GoFundMe a few grand.
And parrots. We
Yes,
need more
please.
parrots urgently.
Please, parrots.
Parrots?
Parrots.
Parrots. Speaking parrots, of course.
Yes.
And the hats. The hats,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah. They have good hats.
Darren, you like Progressive Pirate? Good. We'll get you involved.
Yeah.
It's Earth Flagship. That's actually what Tyler wants to do, Jilly Love. It's kind of like Sea Shepherd, but we'd start out with one, and this would just cruise the area, you know, Washington, and when the cruise able down to California. Totally. It's like the West Coast progressive pirate ship that goes around for causes and is a floating stage for activism. That's, you know, and a headquarters wherever it needs to be. That's absolutely right. And I just want to show you, we're back to the DPO. I know we're talking about the ship. It's cool, but I just want to show you, this is the 2018 Democratic Party of Oregon priority legislative action items. The LAIs are the things that the Democratic Party within the government of Oregon are supposed to get done. And as the Democratic Party of Oregon is in charge of the government right now, has control, they should at least be able to get number one on this list. And that's all they managed to accomplish last session, was one of the 22. There are 22. I'm only showing you the top 10. But the number one on here is, as healthcare is a human right, adopt an equitable, high-quality, comprehensive, universal, publicly funded healthcare system, including general, preventative, and emergency care, plus vision, dental, hearing, prescription, drugs, long-term care, substance abuse, hospice care, and mental health services at the state or federal level. I hope they can accomplish one. Because that would give us goddamn health care for everybody in the state of Oregon. Wouldn't that be nice? So that's the LAIs. My LAI didn't make it. That's the Engagement Broadcast LAI, which was worded really correctly. Thank you, Justin Bryce. However, this is the Article 8 infrastructure portion of the Democratic Party of Oregon plank. Okay? Or the Democratic Party of Oregon platform. I'm sorry. It's a platform. And within Article 8 infrastructure, there are planks. And plank 13, I kind of like that it's plank 13, is we support using the internet to implement engagement broadcast as a way to facilitate a conversation with people using the internet where they are about the critical issues of our time and to share ideas for solutions. It's not worded the best because they didn't take our revision before they printed this, which is whatever. But it has the words engagement broadcast in there. And that is the reason why we're going to be able to bring on Valdez Bravo as our first guest for Get to Know the DPO. I mean, he'd probably do it anyway. But now it's like written into the party platform. That's pretty badass. And it's because people like Justin Bryce and Charles Mon and Larry Taylor and lots of other people that understand how this shit works at the state level made it happen. I just kind of followed along with cameras. Right? So, that's pretty badass. You guys are talking about flags. You're still talking about the pirate boat. I see that.
All kinds of flags.
We could. It could
Bernie
be decked
Bird
out.
flag. But did you see the progressive enterprise? To boldly go where no progressive has gone before. Get the Star Trek tie-in.
All right. I'm down with that. All this stuff's just going to cost money, folks. Let's start with the dollars.
Sponsor a flag.
And exactly. I mean, if we really want to have tier levels and stuff, we can do that. We could slap logos all over this thing.
Yeah. I mean, pirate ships have flags. You could have people sponsor flags and have them waving boldly as they.
And when we're out of
fly the
room,
seas.
we'll build a second boat. You know?
We're
Move
gonna
on.
need a bigger boat.
That's right. Just have a fleet of these things going up and down the coast, pissing off conservatives.
Gotta get Kenneth Branagh will come in and get all huffy. You guys got to see the movie. The more I'm hearing this, the more I'm thinking that would be like so much fun.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Darcy. It is a huge idea.
Yeah.
And it's not mine. This is Tyler's idea. All right. And the problem for Tyler is he's also running for office. So we're on a limited time frame here. Basically, if he can't find the money to do this, he's got to get rid of it. Right? And that's what we want to avoid. So let's see if we can't make this happen, at least sustain it so that we can turn it into something useful. He was living on it. He moved the land, so now it's just kind of out there, and it's not doing any good. So we need to get some crew on it, need some care, and let's put it to use for the movement, right? And I know most of you guys are tapped, right? We donate to what we can. So the best thing you can really do is share this with other people in the hope that they got money. Seriously.
Listen to Admiral Ellis, right?
Yes. Admiral. Well, it's an interesting. Keep me in the engine room, please.
Or the crow's nest.
One or the other. As long as I can smoke. We don't need to talk about the Democrats suing. That's just the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
I had a thing on that, but.
One thing about having to was with my parents recently and having to sit with them and hear them talk very seriously about, what Rachel's telling them is going on. And I'm just dying inside. And
listening to Rachel, huh? Your parents?
Yeah. I walked in and they said, "Oh, they're watching. Your dad's watching James Comey on CNN," and I wouldn't even walk into that room. I was like, "I'll just stay out here with the kitchen, Mom." Yeah. I love them dearly, and they really are thoughtful with what they hear and what they read, but they just think that Rachel is someone to listen to, and I just can't go there.
Well, 4 years ago, I was watching Rachel.
Oh yeah, no, I used to think she was cool too until the middle of the 2016 primary when somebody flipped the switch on the back of her neck and became something else.
I wonder if that coincided with the pay raise.
Mm-hmm.
That lawsuit will expose their own fuckery. I know, that was the Republican response, was we look forward to discovery.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be funny if Bernie would take this now for his own suit, because he's the only guy in all this fuckery who has real proofs, that he was cheated, that he was betrayed. All other stuff is, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. Brahm, it's okay. Tattoos not required. I think your knowledge of knots makes up for the lack of tattoos. All right. It's all right. Darren, yes, we need to talk about injured workers more, and we need to do more for injured workers. There.
Yes.
Yes. And we got to get Tyler elected first before he can do anything about him. When he's elected is when we really hold the feet to the fire. Holding his feet to the fire now that's distracting from the bigger purpose of getting a progressive elected in office and getting things like this in place. So we totally hear you, Darren. We hear you. We've read all your comments on the videos. We know that that's super important. We're trying to get people in place that can deal with that. So be here now.
That's a prefix for this whole thing.
Yes.
We've got to do this when they're in office. We've got to do this when they're in office.
We've got to get them in office. Yeah, and you can't have them have their entire platform and everything all worked out. Tyler said more than once during his interview, he's going to do what his constituents tell him and ask him, and what he's not going to be bossed by corporations. But he's got to get elected first before he has that mandate. So let's concentrate on it. Yeah. And same with all of our the candidates, not just Washington.
Right. We hear you in all caps, Darren. Honestly, we do. And Phil, I know Sea Shepherd didn't go out. I forget the reason. I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't go out. I thought they were pretty decent funded. Let us know if you know what they. That is what you've been telling us for 6 years. I haven't been telling anybody anything for 6 years. Hi, Melissa. I don't know what's going on. Ed Schultz. I didn't know this was news. I thought Ed Schultz had already said all this, but apparently now he's said all this.
No.
Yeah.
We'll come.
I know. We've got videos. Let's get to the videos because we have those. Hang on. All right. Yeah. So, Marcus, I'm putting it on you. And let me get the first video set up here. So, where are we at?
Yes. The thing is that Ed Schultz gave an interview. I don't know this guy. but it was very clearly what he said. There was one incident. I don't want to talk about this right now because we are seeing this in the next video. What was going on the moment, or just before the moment, Bernie Sanders decided to run as a candidate, you know, and this is at the very start of it all, and it gives, and it is not that we didn't know this already, you know, but this is just another proof of what was going on in the mainstream media. This was only one part of what happened yesterday. There was another thing, we will address this later, another thing which is very strange coming from the mainstream media, but this piece with Ed Schultz was just another proof of how Bernie was cheated. And maybe we can run this now, John?
Well, let me ask you, Andy.
But let me go back, if I may, because you said, what are the differences?
Yes.
And I want to make this very clear, and I hope your audience consumes this. There was more oversight and more direction given to me on content at MSNBC than there ever has been here at RT. And I think that it's very sad that that story is not getting out. I think it's, many times I was told what to lead with on MSNBC. Many times I was told what I was not going to do, and I've got a story that, had I not been involved in it, I would have never believed it. And Phil Griffin, who I consider a friend to this day, was a watchdog, far more than anything I am exposed to here at RT America.
Did he tell you what to say? Did he tell you an angle to take?
Often. In fact, when Bernie Sanders was announcing that he was going to be a candidate for the nomination of the Democratic Party in Burlington, Vermont, I was the only cable host between Fox, MSNBC, and CNN that was there live to cover it. Now, there were live cameras there, but we had coordinated with the Sanders campaign that at 5 o'clock he was going to make his announcement, and we were going to cover this on the Ed Show. I go to Bernie Sanders' house that afternoon, an interview in the backyard, about a 15-minute interview. The grandkids are running around. It's a big day for the Sanders family. He's going to announce that he's running for president. We're going to carry it live later on in the day, and we're going to run this one-on-one tape with Bernie. 3,000 people are there on Lake Champlain. It's 5 minutes to air, and I get a phone call from Phil Griffin, "You're not covering this." I said, "Phil, Bernie Sanders is announcing he's running for president. He's going to be a president. I don't care. You're not covering this." And it got rather contentious. And I don't, well, now you're asking me for opinion. I'm giving you fact right now about what happened. And other people who were there with me will attest to the fact and back me up that this is what happened. We were told that we had to cover something down in Texas that was totally meaningless, and another press conference in Baltimore, which was already had been in the news for a few days. We're covering Bernie Sanders live. We're coordinated with his campaign. And I'm told 5 minutes before, "You're not covering Bernie Sanders." Now, let me give you the opinion. I think the Clintons were connected to Andy Lack, connected at the hip. I think that they didn't want anybody in their prime time or anywhere in their lineup supporting Bernie Sanders. I think that they were in the tank for Hillary Clinton, and I think it was managed, and 45 days later I was out at MSNBC.
Yeah, 45 days later. Coincidence, huh? Well, it is unbelievable, and it is. Look, you are prepared. You have everything prepared. You know, 5 minutes before the show starts, and your boss gives you a call and makes you a complete ass. You know, and this is incredible, and it shows that right at the beginning of the campaign, everything was supposed to be against Bernie Sanders. You know, just another clear proof. You know how the mainstream media is working, and yeah, it is incredible to see. You know?
Yeah, and I guess like I said, I thought that was already all out. I mean, we all assumed that, right? that he was shut down for actually talking narrative that was truth, whether it was specific to Bernie or not. And he was just one of the first. Not too many of them jumped ship, though. I was surprised to see the complete lack of integrity there. I don't know if you guys remember this, but way back at the beginning when I thought Bernie TV was all that, we tried to offer Ed Schultz a job. Did. It's like, come on to Bernie TV. You love Bernie. We'll do it from here. We've got no money, but if you come here, we'll find a way to pay you.
But the exposure will be great.
Yeah. Anyway, that kind of ties into net neutrality. Do you want to run into Ron here with that clip?
Hold on. You're moving now to Progressive California, right?
Well, yeah, because Ed was kind of at the end. We skipped.
Okay, so we can go. Yeah, okay, we can go to Progressive California if you want so. And last Sunday, Laura and Joe had Ron Placone as their guest. And yeah, I think before we go on, we should show the short intro we have prepared, and then I think Laura and Joe should talk a little bit.
Well, what point you want me to start? I didn't get that. Shit.
Just follow the link in line 14.
No. Never mind. Hang on, everybody. I'm on the video right now. I just need to know what time mark.
Yes, 2 minutes 31.
Thank you. That's easier. All right. Here we go.
I've had a preview, guys. It's really good. Anyway, so without further ado, I would like to bring on our guest, Ron Placone. Ron is a comedian. You may know him well from his role as a sidekick and producer on The Jimmy Dore Show. He's off to the side there, and he's often a writer for the show as well. He also has his own show, host of Get Your News On with Ron. But one of his pet projects, because he lives in LA, is getting a municipal internet on to the city council agenda in Pasadena. And to that end, he, well, actually, you know what? I would like him to come on. Welcome, Ron, to our show.
Hello.
Glad to have you here. So
thanks for having me.
For those of us who may be a little bit new to this topic, tell us, what is municipal internet? Why is it important? And why should we want it?
Okay, well, we'll talk about net neutrality too. So
yes, exactly.
Net neutrality is what assures a free and open internet, meaning that there are no fast lanes and slow lanes via the net. No outlet can pay for prioritization, i.e. CNN.com doesn't load any faster than the newscast we're doing right now. That's what net neutrality is. We've had assumed net neutrality rules since the advent of the internet. Since the internet's been around, since we've known it, we've had assumed net neutrality rules. The ISPs and the cable companies have challenged this many times over the years, and in 2015 or 2014, 2015, they were pretty much successful. They won a court battle basically saying they didn't need to uphold net neutrality laws. But the courts told the FCC, if you designate the internet a Title II, Title II designation means that it is kind of an essential utility, kind of like running water is the analogy I like to use, or applying it to a telecom service. It's kind of like the telephone. If I call Joe right now, or I call you, or I call the White House, it's all treated the exact same. I'm just making a phone call. It doesn't matter who I'm calling. That's Title II designation. So they told the FCC, if you designate the internet a Title II, then you can uphold net neutrality. And Tom Wheeler of the FCC did not want to do this. He was a cable lobby insider most of his career. He didn't want to do this. He just kind of wanted to punt this. But the people demanded it. And there were so many comments that in a dose of beautiful irony, they crashed the FCC's website. So at the 11th hour, the Obama administration and Tom Wheeler did the right thing, and we got net neutrality laws. Now, with this new head of the FCC, Ajit Pai, he decided to repeal net neutrality. It was one of the first things he wanted to do, and he was able to do it. Right now, it is being challenged in court. There's also states proposing their own net neutrality laws. And people are also pushing for a Congressional Review Act, which means Congress can overturn what the FCC did. Now, all of these efforts are good. I am in support of all of them because I think net neutrality is such a serious issue that we need to throw everything we have into this. Now, what would losing net neutrality create? Losing net neutrality could create a landscape where the internet is a lot like cable television 2.0, where it's more money to access certain websites, where those without money and power don't get their traffic moving as fast. A stream like this, for example, would load really slow, while Fox News would load fast or something like that. That's what net neutrality, losing it, could mean. And this is not some kind of like, oh, the sky is falling. This is a very real thing that could happen. Okay. Similar to the Telecommunications Act of '96, how that homogenized radio, right. How cable television, because television is designated different than a Title II, cable packages get smaller and smaller every year and get more and more pricey every year. They can do the exact same thing to the internet. It's totally possible because we already handed over our infrastructure to a handful of corporations. Now, what we can do is build our own infrastructure and or take it back. This is where municipal internet comes in. Policy can help us. State laws are a good thing. However, this fight's going to just keep going on and on and on. And what municipal internet would do is municipal internet would pretty much just end the fight once and for all, because it would really just take the internet and put it in the public hands. What municipal internet would be is that you would get your internet the same way you kind of get your garbage collected, or the same way you get the water flowing to your house. You would.
I'm going to stop it there because this is where we can provide better information on that. But yeah, that was Ron.
Yeah.
He's got it down, and he went to the there was another video you had that we've run before. You ran it on the show, Laura, which was the him at the, what was it, the city council meeting?
Yeah, Pasadena City Council. Yeah, presenting his case.
That, I mean, of everything that I learned from that show, I just want to say that to me was the most powerful. He just showed up there and read some intelligent information in front of those people and created a discourse. And, I mean, he's got a little celebrity, fame down there, hear him. But that was, that's effective. If you want to get the conversation started in your town, it sounds like that's what he was saying, take my information and go do this.
That's what I liked. He said, he even has a script that he can send you, or a transcript of what he said, but it's, that video isn't very long. Do you want to play that, or
no? Actually, we had to take it out because we're like, we played it a bunch of times.
Okay, all right. We'll make sure that I'll drop that in.
We'll get drop the links in there to his, because didn't he say it was on his website or something?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, Joseph, do you have his website? I'm delegating again.
Sorry,
you work for the guy.
We'll get it. We'll dig it up while Marcus moves on with the next piece.
Oh, actually, I do have an update though on the municipal internet. It's officially on an agenda now, so all Ron has to do is figure out when they're meeting to show up again with other people that he can hopefully bring out again. So yeah.
Great. I can't put Joe on a camera right now because we're going to do video. Joe's on the video camera. Sorry, everybody, but you get to hear Joe's great voice. Thank you for that update. And Ron's welcome back anytime he wants to tell us more what's going on.
Yeah.
So
it was nice to make that connection with him.
Yeah, he was really he liked what he saw from us. He was like, yeah, you guys have a really cool thing going on over here.
Yeah. We still need to build our resources in California, so he's a good one, especially representing Southern California. So
yes.
Thanks, Ron, if you're watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We are our own cheerleaders and promotions here.
Yes.
Everybody's got it. The progressive movement doesn't get any help from MSM or anybody else.
Okay, this is exactly where we are going further right now.
Yes,
we are staying in the same topic, and what Ron Procone says about free internet and municipal internet is more than important than ever from what happened yesterday, when suddenly there was a smearing article on Jimmy Dore, and I read this piece. It was incredible. What they are trying to do there at CNN in this case.
Is there a video? Because I don't have one, Mark.
No, there is no video, but we have slides if you can show them. There we can see what exactly happened. it is incredible to see with what tactics they are trying to get independent media out of the merchandise, out of the monetary system at YouTube. And they are putting Jimmy Dore, they are mentioning his name and his show in the same line with complete nuts like Alex Jones and some other right radical, in my opinion, or pedophile channels, etc. And I think it is absolutely unbelievable. And it shows me on one side that there is an alternative with these channels, which is getting more and more important for the people. And of course, this threatens the pure business model of the mainstream media, And if you can show the last paragraph of this slide, John, a little bit bigger, because this is what makes me so angry about all this, They say ads also appeared on the Jimmy Dore Show channel, a far-left YouTube channel that peddles conspiracy theories, such as the idea that Syrian chemical weapons attacks are hoaxes. This is a complete. This is unacceptable, in my opinion. This is a clear smear, and the thing is that from what Jimmy Dore says about the situation in Syria and what's going on with the military, etc., we know this. We discussed about this last week, I think, and we don't have any proof so far what really happened there. One day before the bombing started, there was decided that one day later a commission should go there and examine if there were really gas attacks or not. I don't want to doubt this, but to say that Jimmy Dore is a conspiracy left-winger, which is dangerous, because this is what they are doing by putting them in the same in the same drawer as all these other nutty people and crazy channels is in my opinion absolutely unacceptable, and it shows clearly that we have to fear what's going on with independent media on YouTube, because the mainstream media will now push YouTube to be more drastically what content concerns. And I think that the already existing censorship or demonetizing of YouTube is already very bad for independent media. And yeah, the question is, no, it is no question that we would need municipal internet and free internet. And this is why it was so important what Ron Procone had to say.
Agreed. It's also why we need a place besides YouTube, which is impossible to create right now.
And the most ironic thing about that article was it was CNN saying, hey, Jimmy's pushing this idea that maybe the Syrian chemical weapons attack didn't even happen to begin with, when CNN, the news media, should be the one really doing that job, asking the questions, asking, hey, where's the evidence? Where's the proof that this thing actually happened? Because it's on journalists to actually question their government, to actually hold the powerful accountable. And yet when Jimmy does it, they're like, no, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to question the government's rhetoric. No, Jimmy Dore is successful because the mainstream media has failed so much in this regard when it comes to questioning the government.
Very true.
And yes, I absolutely agree, Joe. And yes, I think it is a perfect situation to go over to the next news I have, because it fits perfectly, you know, because what Jimmy Dore doubts, we have no evidences, as we know, and Jimmy Dore has his doubts in all this story, what is presented to us by the mainstream media or by so-called secret services. Well, I don't know. One thing is clear right now in Germany. In Germany, the parliament, there is the so-called scientific service for the parliament. And there was a question coming from the left party, which is in the opposition side here in Germany. And they asked, what about these strikes in Syria? Are they conform with the law of nations? So, and they put these questions and they got a clear answer. And the answer was, these strikes are absolutely not covered by the law of nations. As a matter of fact, they violate the law of nations. And Angela Merkel, as you know, did not take part in this adventure and said, no, Germany is not in it. But after the strikes were done and after it came out that nobody was hurt and everything was okay now, as you know, mission was accomplished, she approved the strikes, you know. And this is exactly what I would call a slap in the face of Angela Merkel, because she was proven wrong by her only parliament scientific department, you know. And this department in Germany, I don't know if you have this in the USA, this department is working absolutely independent from ministers and ministeriums and from governments. They are to help the ministers in their offices to get about a topic, an independent explanation. What is it all about, you know? And the strikes were not covered by the law of nations, and this is a slap in the face. And this also approved what Jimmy Dore says, in my opinion. You know,
I'm a little saying they're not within the law of nations doesn't mean they didn't exist. I'm a little lost on the tie-in there.
The strikes of the USA, of France, and Great Britain were absolutely violating the law of nations.
Well, right, because we get that, but that doesn't mean that I don't understand how that the attacks. We still don't have proof from one way or the other whether the attacks existed.
This point it is completely uninteresting to this institution, because they say they ask the question: does the strike justify victims in a war which already lasts 7 years? You know, why is this the point to rise these attacks on Syria? You know, they don't see the connection, and they don't see the connection in the reports of the UK government, which clearly came forward to say, yes, they were gas attacks made by Bashar Assad. And they say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there was a gas attack, you know. It doesn't matter in a 7-year-long war with so many thousands of victims already. Why should this be the turning point? This is the question they're asking. You know? Right. And they say we have not enough evidence to approve this. And as we don't have the evidence, this is absolutely violating the law of nations.
Ah, okay. So it violates that. So there was no evidence to approve the attacks. That was the tie-in I was looking for. I mean, because
I'm sorry.
Because the problem with your statement is that I think anybody could agree, regardless of whether the gas attacks happened or not, that bombing somebody because they just killed a bunch of people wouldn't make any fucking sense. So that's why I was like, that's a given. What are you fucking saying? But you're saying the scientists said they had no evidence of a gas attack, which is why that violates the law. That's what I'm missing point there. So then Merkel looks like an idiot because she.
Yes, it was a slap in her face, you know.
There we go.
Because she came forward and approved afterwards that the strikes were all right. No, they were not.
Bombing for peace, fucking for virginity. I mean, the whole concept of that is just ridiculous. So
exactly.
I don't understand.
Yes. They're asking this question in their expertise, you know, in how far it would be helpful to bomb a country to make things better. This is exactly the question they're raising there, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's how we do things. That's all we got.
Yeah. But it doesn't make things better, you know.
Of course not.
This is. How many times was this proven now?
Well, again, it goes back to the same thing we said earlier, Laura Livengood, right? We got to elect people that actually want to change that.
Yeah.
the people.
And my thought is just this is a big now. There's a big orders coming in to all these munitions suppliers that to replace all those bombs.
Yep. Raytheon stock is up.
Oh yeah, Raytheon. Oh yeah, it's payday.
Absolutely is. All right, what's next, Marcus?
Yes, I don't know if we should go over to our We the People candidates, or if we should go on with the experience of Donald Trump yesterday when we had our 420. You know, some strange, very, very, very strange and smoky tweets He
There
came
was,
up
well, the
yesterday.
DNC was definitely stoned too, right? Because they're
You know.
suing. But yeah, here's Wendy
Yes.
Wasserman Schultz. Is that where we're going?
This is the next one, Wendy Wasserman Schultz. At first, I was asking myself, who is Wendy Wasserman Schultz? And I looked it up, but there was no porn star with that name, because I thought there must be a connection. Because when you wake up in the morning, and you turn around and say the wrong name to a woman, there might be a reason behind it, But I don't know if this. And this one is also a very strange thingy because he seems to still not to get that James Comey did not install Mueller, and I don't want to talk about his orthography. I'm a German. I should not say this. It is crazy, and I hope he had a good day, with a lot of smoke. And otherwise, I could not explain this bullshit.
Yeah, that would be interesting if he actually did that. Yeah. Weird times. Weird times. All right, so what about We the Peeps?
Yeah, We the Peeps. We had Rosa Calderon, and I saw that we had Darren in chat, and he seems to be a little bit excited or frustrated. I think I can understand this. Anyway, and I chose from Rosa Calderon what she said in the interview about the federal oversight of comp systems, It is about disabled people and how, and this is an important question, I think, how does a society deal with or cares for disabled people, And let's hear what she has to say.
This is from Darren. Darren's very passionate about this, and I think I've simplified his basic question, but it really stems about how we are letting down our injured workers. And she's wondering, do you support Senator Sanders' call for federal oversight of state work comp systems? Feels like we are really letting our injured workers down in California. I wonder what you thought about that.
Yeah, so, in California, we have a lot of issues that I think that most people just keep saying they're state issues. But I think at the federal level, there is always something that we can do. And that is always done by incentives, right? Here in California, I used to work in construction, and I used to see how workman's comp used to work. In fact, my boyfriend, he's actually one of the people who was injured here in California. And after you meet a certain amount of days, you're kicked off the program. So you either you're rushed to either settle with the company that you were hurt with. And the deals aren't really there. And there's really no support at the state level to guide you through the process. And so there's really no oversight. I mean, so a lot of these companies are getting away with really murder. They're paying out people for fractures to their spine, at $10,000, $17,000 when they know that the lifelong care is going to be well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's just one of the reasons why I support Medicare expansion for all, so that people are not stuck with these enormous bills that they're going to have to fork out of nowhere. I mean, the amount that people are being charged for doctor visits and follow-ups are absurd, and no one can afford them. So it just leaves more room for more injuries in the future. And I believe that we can have some real progress if the federal decides to have oversight in every state. And I'm telling you that because California has higher standards than other states. So I can't imagine what's happening in other states.
Yeah.
Wow. Know your stuff there.
Yeah, I think he's speaking in terms like what he's seeing in Washington. It feels like war against workers, and they're really being let down.
Absolutely.
There you go. You cut it off there.
Yeah. Important topic. I only can repeat myself. I don't know how the situation in the US is for disabled, but it doesn't sound so good for me. I think from what I know in Germany, there are a lot of programs to help disabled people in many ways. And yes, I only can tell you, I only can tell you about Germany and make you so envious about us that you go and vote and do the right thing and vote and go out and urge that for your rights, because it's your fucking right to have healthcare, universal healthcare.
Stop flaunting your healthcare at us, German. Stop it.
Yes.
More
this is
advanced nation. It's weird to be in a less advanced nation. It's weird. Growing up,
Yes.
growing up through the shift.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah. And we are staying in the with healthcare, and we are addressing now the third candidate in the Congressional District 12 in California, where we already found Stephen Jaffe and Shahid Buttar. We had Ryan Kudja stay in the show, and in my opinion, I'm completely lost with the three candidates. They're all three are brilliant, and it will be such a tough vote for those who can vote in CD12. Yeah, let's hear what Ryan has to say about healthcare and universal healthcare.
Move into healthcare. Another major issue. Healthcare in this country is absolutely terrible, and in California in particular, you guys have an opportunity there. But it seems to be Mr. Rendon is holding up that show. What would you do different if elected?
Yeah, well, first of all, I had a final project for my health law class last week, and ours was about SB 562 and advancing the single-payer healthcare bill in California. One of the things that we're proposing is there's a thing called the Perry study, believed by the University of Massachusetts Amherst, that is supported by the California Nurses Association, which actually puts a funding mechanism into the bill. It would be a gross receipts tax and a sales tax, where that sales tax would go into partly funding the bill, and the other would be a gross receipts tax on all businesses making over $2 million, and that should give us just the amount of money to fund the bill. I'm disappointed that Speaker Rendon has shelved the bill and won't allow it to advance the Rules Committee to have a policy hearing in Assembly Health. But I think that he needs to rethink that decision and do so before it's too late, because at the end of the day, we need to have the Assembly and Senate come together and adopt that funding mechanism, which at the end of the day would give us the money to enact a single-payer healthcare system in California. The statistic is, I believe, 2.7 million Californians are uninsured, and I think it was 13 million are underinsured, for a total of 41% of the population in California either uninsured or underinsured, which is a large section of the constituency. California released a statement, Rendon and Kevin DeLeon, the day after Trump was elected. And they said that California was not a part of this nation when it began, but it is clearly now the keeper of its future. So Mr. Rendon, how can you not uphold that promise of being the keeper of this nation when you shelve a bill that would grant universal health care to the residents of California? You should rethink that decision and join the rest of the civilized world in giving health care to the people of California. And the United States government needs to follow suit with the rest of the civilized world. I'm somebody who's had parents lose health care coverage before. So this is something that hits home to me, and why I believe that nobody should ever go without health care coverage. So that's something that we're advocating for, is adopting a single-payer healthcare system that would grant universal coverage to every person in this country, regardless of immigration status. We can do it if we reform our tax code to make it more fair and have those corporations who have for a long, long, long time not been able to pay their fair share to do so. If we have campaign finance reform and a progressive tax structure, we can grant a single-payer healthcare system for everybody in this country. And hopefully it will be a long fight, but if we get more individuals elected to office who know what it's like to not be without healthcare and to prioritize it, it can be a reality, and we'll damn well make sure that it will be.
Well said. I like that.
Yeah, brilliant candidate. Yeah, let me push a little bit for something what I really would like to see happen. This district is so awesome. They have minimum 3 candidates, if not 4. There's another green candidate which is running in the game, Barry Hermanson. There are so great candidates in this district. I would like those people to sit together and have a debate, discussion, town hall, or whatever. Yeah, this would be absolutely great, and I think it would be helpful for the constituents in the Congressional District 12 in California.
Yes. We are we're hoping to have a bunch of them together and do a debate. We're not going to talk about it in depth because we're still trying to plan it and see if we can get everybody coordinated, but I would like to, wouldn't it be nice just to get everybody together, have that, and then Nancy doesn't even have a chance. We just 2 progressives. She retires. it won't happen that way. That would be nice, but we got to get one of them. One of them's got to be a contender against Nancy, whoever it is. It's really awesome that we have so many good choices right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And Ryan, just okay, 25 years old. I can't pick. I can't pick between any of them. They're just all good at this point. I've interviewed, those three. There's another one to interview. 25, finishing law school, and he looked like he had gotten sleep. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, very good.
I don't, Joe, you don't even look that good.
Yeah,
sorry.
I know. Yeah. I always look the same, by the way. I just noticed that when I was watching the clip, you can see me in the beginning. I'm practically wearing the same gray shirt and the black jacket. I'm just like, wow.
I don't know anybody else like that, man. I don't know. You learn from the master. It's just,
we would not recognize you, John, without your water.
It's part of the. You got to brand yourself. That's what's branding. It's very good. All right, Marcus, take us all in on the last one. This was Supreet, who's always a badass when she talks.
Oh yes, Supreet Kaur, a person, a woman so energized, absolutely fantastic to see, and this is something which would should give us a good feeling for the weekend, and her first impression of what was going on in the progressive candidate training in Washington, which she attended, and she met great people, among others, Nina Turner and Bernie Sanders, and roll it, man.
So we have Supreet Kaur, chair of Our Revolution King County and secretary of Our Revolution Washington Berniecrats Coalition, with us today, who was able to attend the progressive candidate training in Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us again.
Hey, thank you for having me.
We just heard Bernie and Nina bring the whole room to their feet. You were there. What was the energy in the room like?
Oh my God. So just thinking about it, I have goosebumps. But when Bernie came on, the entire, there were people standing on chairs. There were people crying, like, weeping like babies. And there were people, everybody like rushed to the front. So they had to first take a picture so everybody could go back to their seats. And obviously everything he said, there was a break for applause. There were people of color who were cheering. There were women who were cheering, which was like that group. I think that group was one of the most diverse groups in America that I've been a part of. And watching all of them cheer Bernie on, cheer Nina on, basically just reminded me all the lies that the mainstream media told during the 2016 election, that he's just white men are propelling Bernie bros and all that shit. So it just reaffirmed the fact that if Bernie runs in 2020, he's our next president.
I agree. There's still so much excitement.
Is that where you want to cut it, Marcus?
Yeah. I just want to spread the breaking news that Supreet Kaur says 2020 Bernie will be our next president. This is a breaking news for the weekend for you guys.
I got to tell you, it's not breaking. We all know this.
It's clickbaiting,
That's exactly the way it is when you see Bernie. I was there for his last rally in San Francisco, and I tell the story that when he came out, I was cheering so hard that I almost threw up. It was just the energy when he is, especially at that point, at the end of that amazing primary season. Even though they announced that Hillary won during, the rally, which is the night before.
Oh, and I got a double Marcus.
Oh,
shit.
Wow.
So,
yeah, that was so rude. I was like, thanks, AP. That was great. So, but yeah, it's I love the picture that Supreet posted to social media of her in the bathroom with Nina. She ran into her in the ladies' room and got a selfie, and I've never seen a bigger smile on that girl. So.
Did you hear her full story on that?
No.
That was hilarious. She froze. She literally just, Nina Turner. And then Nina was like she stood there for 5 seconds and went, okay, and then walked out the door. That's apparently what...
She still has to be used to that, though.
Yeah. She's wonderful.
She's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I told her I did the same thing with Steve Wilson of Porcupine Tree. Nothing fit him. So yeah,
Okay.
it was awesome. I think that weekend was cool. I also think we're starting to see even there, and she talked about this, some divisions between camp, PCCC and Democrat proper and the more radical progressive movement, right?
Yeah.
And that, to me, that was, I don't know, both concerning in the sense that, they're trying to limit that, and also powerful in the sense that they just did it anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's cool. It's cool to see that. What else, Marcus? This is your show. I should call it the Marcus Show with special guests.
This is not my show. This is our all show.
You put all the stuff together.
Yeah, we go out, and this is something interesting, I guess, for Laura. It's a band from South California, Bad Cop, Bad Cop.
Oh, my favorite band. No.
Have you heard of them?
No.
No. You will very soon.
California's far away from me.
You will very soon.
I'll honor.
Well, wait a minute. We got next week.
Oh yeah.
Jason Kishineff.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Next week we have Jason Kishineff. He is running for California District 5 on the Green Party. And Wednesday was going to be Levy Sanders, who's running for District 1 in New Hampshire. Sorry, I blanked out there for a second because I want to say Vermont, but he's not. He's running in New Hampshire. But he was not. We were not able to confirm him, so he's going to be on in May. No. So right now we do not have a show on Wednesday, but stay tuned because we might figure something out.
But yeah, you did hear that right, Levy Sanders.
Yeah, Levy Sanders, son of, and we're saying it right. We know it.
And the first question I'm going to ask is, are they trying to install a dynasty? That's what is this?
They're trying to get you to marry Chelsea. Yes.
Yeah. Already seeing the establishment.
Sorry, Levy.
There's I just wanted to point back. We were talking about CNN and Jimmy Dore. That another conspiracy theory that Jimmy Dore also pushes is that CNN is not a news station at all, and just a pile of shit.
This is no theory. This is absolutely no theory.
One of those other crazy conspiracy theories that MSM is garbage.
Oh my god!
Don't listen to Independent.
Proven fact.
I mean, they do have one good journalist, and his name's Anthony Bourdain. The way he covers the food and the cultures of all those places is amazing.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Anthony doesn't qualify.
Well, I read something about CNN, something that remarkable in, not necessarily in the stories, but what they don't tell us about stories, the things that they leave out, and then the homogenized narrative that goes over that, and that's what my friends listen to. It's like, yeah, I know, that's the icing story, but what about the cake?
Well, you see, and you see it with this. You see it with this narrative right here. This is the separation of reality versus non. Right? The Democrats, we're fighting to protect elections. That's why we're suing Trump campaign in Russia. And the truth, the Democratic Party is fighting to protect elections. Does not apply to primaries. Does not apply to whatever we want it to apply to. Right?
Yeah.
It's love Peter Dush's liaison.
And you let me know the minute that Anthony Bourdain is allowed on Wolf Blitzer's Blizzard Room or whatever the fuck he has, because that when they bring him on and he just slays them all, right? And tells them all how full of shit they are. When they let him be a pundit, I'm all over that.
Blitzer's full of shit, man. Yeah. Really quickly, before he on CNN, Rand Paul actually went on and he actually questioned the Syria narrative in the same way that Jimmy Dore did. And then he went over how there was no evidence, how it didn't make sense for Assad to do it, and he ended the whole thing by saying Assad would be an idiot if he actually had done the chemical weapons attack. And Wolf Blitzer was like, or he thought he could get away with it. Literally spent 2 minutes describing why none of this makes sense, and Wolf Blitzer's like, or he thought he could get away with it. And you can see Rand Paul just kind of fuck this guy.
Blitzers stopped processing a long way before, right? It's just end with your statement. And
his producer in his ear. Pivot.
Yeah, right. The narrative is, it's pretty. And the other thing I want to say about the Jimmy Dore thing, that's actually it is good. This is good. Okay, because this tells us that Jimmy Dore has injured CNN. Okay, they are frightened. The more the dog attacks, the more we've got him. And that's what's going on here. You've got CNN scared, pissed off. They're like, wait a minute, that narrative is starting to ring true. It's hurting us in our narrative. We got to take out some of these fuckers. It's probably why our subscribership is tanking right now. Like, I've never seen it drop this fast. It's not like we changed anything. You know, I didn't bring it. It's not, we didn't make a huge shift. And other people have said they're seeing all sorts of crap shit going on. But when mainstream media starts attacking independent media, you know we brought it on.
Yes.
That we're having an effect. That's what we wanted. Oh, we smacked you enough? Right? And so now that they're out and angry, we need to take advantage of that and hurt them even more.
Look at the more people who know Jimmy Dore. Like, oh,
yes,
yes,
yeah.
What
yes,
did he do? What
yes.
did he do?
Any press is good press. CNN, you should know that.
And they go, oh, he's funny. He's kind of like Jon Stewart, but even edgier. And he's saying the things that we think. Isn't that amazing?
Right,
yeah.
Right.
And not just CNN either. NPR smeared on Noah Changa this week too.
Right.
So
right. Oh my gosh, that's true. Yeah. The way with Noah, yeah, that's another. Yeah, that's so you've got an NPR. Oh,
yeah.
Not NPR. You know, that was like the last bastion for mom. Well, NPR is still good. They're not biased.
Okay. The nice, polite Republicans.
Right.
Yeah. I stopped. I used to listen to them every day, and then all of a sudden I realized that it's about halfway through the 2016 primary that they were doing the Rachel. Oh yeah, and
the Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would completely discount him, and all it was Hillary and Trump and then I started hearing ads for the Coke industries as underwriters. Like, well, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my disenchanted moment right then on my way to work. By the Coke industries. That Coke industries. So there you go. That's what happened in NPR.
I didn't even remember that David Koch ran for office as a libertarian in 80 whatever some year. Yeah. I didn't know that. It's like, oh God, that's frightening. Imagine that, dude. Holy God. Instead he installed his like spawns, whatever he made.
Yeah, he was like, I don't have to be in office. I can just get these people in and they'll get my bidding.
Money bought the office. Thank you all for being around. I don't know what other else we got to cover. Am I missing anything, Marcus?
I don't think so. I think we have everything done here.
You guys
I mentioned Progressive Oregon tomorrow.
Oh,
we're looking forwards.
Oh,
we need to be the people.
And shit, yeah. So yeah, okay. Thank you. Progressive Oregon tomorrow.
And your new show, right?
We talked about the Get to Know the DPO.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Didn't we? Yeah, with Valdez Bravo. All just rhymes. Get to Know the DPO with Valdez Bravo. Right. I am not the rhymer guy. I am white. No, so sorry. So first, Progressive Oregon tomorrow. Larry Taylor, who's got some stuff to talk about because he just did some stuff with Progressive Oregon, right? He basically quit as the chair of Progressive Oregon, the PAC, because it no longer represents what he had in mind to do. He'll probably talk about that tomorrow on the show. We're also going to hear from three people that have been endorsed. They're endorsed candidates, progressive candidates by Progressive Oregon. All right, and we'll probably hear that Larry is starting a new organization that will focus more on what he wanted to do in the first place. The other organization is great, and they're still doing good things. It's just a parting of the ways, and you know, it's trying to be done in a way without causing a lot of crap, which. That didn't happen, unfortunately. Anyway, there's that. Also, there will be no Progressive California show because there's just nobody on, and Laura and Joe need a break, and why not? And also, the much better reason is because it's my Lori's birthday. Her birthday is Earth Day, and so when we're done with this show, my ass starts making food and cake and cleaning and stuff. So that's what I'm doing after this. Yeah, those are the big announcements. If you're in California and you want to help us with the potential of organizing a larger event or anything like that in California, we could really use some California help and some contacts with our Revolution folks that are interested. And I know we speak to our little bubble, but occasionally other people drop by.
Yeah, any California Bernie-crats out there? You
know,
Adriel and your group, groups that are supporting Gail and David and some of our statewide races.
Yeah.
We could. It's just Joseph and me. It would be really great to have some people who want to get involved in the show. I don't really like being the host. I much rather be the sidekick.
And now that I'm starting a new show, I'm going to tear her away to do some of that work. So
yeah. Okay. So and because I work full time in high tech PR. My life is very busy and stressful as it is, and doing it every Sunday night is hard. I think last Saturday was the first Saturday I've missed, and we've been doing Saturdays since December 2016.
Oh, wow.
We've missed a couple in there, but
Sure.
pretty much Markus and I have been here every single week, and sometimes one just needs to.
That's what it takes to deliver independent media.
It's hard. It's revolutioning is hard.
Hey, Joy.
So.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. Joy, Dina, yeah, I have watched some of The Expanse. I thought it was pretty cool. Thank you for that. He froze. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that. You're reeling in the years. Yes. What did you say up here? Think you keep missing the beginning? Sorry, Melissa. I hope
Joseph, Melissa. He's the co-host on Progressive California.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Also has a new Uphill Media Cup. Just saying.
Oh, yeah?
There you go. Oh, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine
it. Right. You bought a bunch of swag, but you don't have the cup.
I've got some T-shirts, and I'm just not wearing them today. I'm still in my jammies.
Buy merch, everybody. We have it. If you want a $27 mug, go to Sweatshirt. Go to our site and shop.uphillmedia.org.
Discount. It's meant to give you swag and support us at the same time. We get
right.
A little bit of that $27, so it's not like we're.
But don't try this from Germany,
No. No, hard way.
What is this? We're getting lots of mentions in Jimmy Dore's live show chat. Really?
Yeah, we are, especially because Ron was going on for a while. People were like, "Oh yeah, Uphill Media, Jimmy Dore should totally interview John." There are quite a few Uphill Media viewers who go over there and they talk about.
Nice.
Oh,
guys.
You should interview Laura or Markus. That would be that would be a cooler.
What?
Jimmy Dore. There's a German guy working for an Uphill Media.
No one has ever interviewed me. I don't think anyone.
So how's the weed in Germany? I love Jimmy Dore.
I think Joe would be perfect to explain how the weed in Germany is.
I would love to have a pilgrimage to a Jimmy Dore show and all hang out with him in person. And Lee Camp and Ron.
Listen, so Jim, am I wrong? Isn't Jimmy Dore under the TYT hood, or is that no longer a thing?
He is.
Okay. So all right. Yeah, I don't want to. We love both those folks, regardless of what I've said about Cenk and my personal opinions. I still love what they do.
Yeah.
They do great things. Yeah. But Ron, Jimmy, love to work with you or do whatever. You're welcome to come on here. We can coordinate, use our tech. I know you guys have cool rooms and stuff and setup, but we could. That's the whole point of working together, doing stuff. So open to it, whatever. I know there's I just want to mention this. There is a big event going on with Gail McLaughlin and Jimmy Dore, and I don't remember where. It's somewhere in L.A. And
yeah, I think it's next Friday. I'm actually thinking of going. I don't know.
The 27th?
27th, I think, yeah.
Isn't that with Nina also?
I think so, yeah.
Because she's going to be in Berkeley on the 28th, and Adriel wants to know if I want to go to that, and it's next Saturday.
Boy, somebody should tell Larry Taylor this would be a great opportunity for the solo. But my guessing is they're going to live stream it. I was trying to find out.
Yeah, that's what I just don't. I don't want to have the burden of going and being responsible for making sure that it live streams. That's just the pressure. It's just too much. I'm being such a woman, aren't I? I'm sorry.
Where's your passion? What happened to it? Got beaten down by the man.
I lost it.
Actually, it got beat down by the woman. Really, because your work's been killing you, and you work for it's all women, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yep. Women are hard on women.
See, that's just
yeah.
All right, this has been awesome. Thank you all. We just keep babbling. I got to get to work. Everybody else got to go do things. Thank you for being here. Carry on with the revolution. The song we're going out with today, and actually I got to take Joe off screen here because I can't pull it up. Hang on. Markus, tell everybody what we're listening to.
We are going out, as I said, with a band from South California. It's a women's band, Bad Cop. and they are playing, pop punk, bubblegum punk, but they have a straight message. They are feminists, and they got into politics after Trump was elected, and this changed their music a little bit, what their messages and lyrics concern, and I like them, and I think it was time that we should play again music coming from a woman, and in this case, four energetic women which are pushing their song, and it's womananarchist. It's hard to pronounce. Womanarchist.
Womanarchist. That's the name of the song. All right, here I can get this started, and there you go.
All right,
everybody. Thank
bye. Have a great weekend.
I gotta watch. Getting technical. Songs playing.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Credits too. Don't forget to donate to the pirate ship.
Social media, what's really going on? Opinions without action never gets anything done. And I'll be gratified by trying to play my part. Revolutionary